The latest headlines in the Ivy League, covered through exclusive interviews right now. From campus to campus, go around the Ancient Eight with Brian Seltzer, Thursdays on the Ivy League Digital Network. Basketball.
Starting this week in New Haven, Connecticut, where something's happening that hasn't been done in over 5 decades, and that is a Yale men's basketball team starting the Ivy League schedule with 4 wins through its first 4 games. Covering the action all season long, John Ryan of Yale All Access on the Ivy League Digital Network. John, what's the atmosphere like on campus with all the promise right now surrounding the Bulldogs?
It's so exciting, Brian. I mean, this is a campus that's had a lot of excitement around the hockey team the last couple of years, but this season people are really excited about this basketball team.
John, you've been following Yale over the last couple seasons. You've had a chance to see the starts of the careers of arguably the 2 main headliners in the Bulldogs roster. That would be junior Justin Sears and senior Javier Dern. What type of chemistry have the two of them developed?
First of all, they're friends. Javier talked about after the game against Brown a couple weekends ago how glad he is that he has Justin Sears around to help him in his senior year try to win an Ivy League championship. And they just have a feeling for where each other are on the floor. And I think that type of chemistry only comes with years of playing together, and it's been really fun to watch.
Year in, year out, the Bulldogs always contenders in the conversation for an Ivy League championship. The Dartmouth Big Green at home on Friday, followed by 4-time defending champion Harvard on Saturday. What really do you think distinguishes this year's group?
This is a team that has postseason experience playing together. They've been through a bunch of close games, tough games, especially early in the non-conference season this year, and they just know how to win together. I also think that the offense this year has a little more spacing with Jack Montague. James Jones said it before the season started. When he came in on the first day of practice, he didn't have to go over the basics. They were ready to move on to more advanced topics, and I think that you're seeing that extra preparation reflected in their success so far this season.
John Ryan announces Yale men's basketball games for Yale All Access on the Ivy League Digital Network. Exciting times in New Haven. John, thanks so much for a few minutes.
Thanks, Brian. Really appreciate it.
Ice hockey.
Heading over to Ithaca, New York, Cornell, a perennial power in the ECAC and the Ivy League, making a move up the standings, just 2 points off the pace with 24, tied for third. Kevin Mooney calls their games on the Ivy League Digital Network. Kevin, it's been 3 straight wins for the Red going back to last Friday. They've also had a point in 14 of the last 15 games. What's sparked this stretch for Cornell?
Really, it's such a combination of different factors. You look back to earlier in the season where the Reds struggled a little bit coming out of the gate. Coach Dara for a while was out coaching Team Canada as part of the Four Nations Cup. So once Coach Dara returned, once Brianne Jenner returned from that Four Nations Cup, and things started to kind of settle in as far as lines went, at some point Coach just decided he needed a little more punch in the lineup, so he decided to reunite the Jenner, Fulton, Saulnier line, and it has been phenomenal ever since.
2 names you mentioned as far as their recent production. Jillian Saulnier returning from a 3-game absence, ECAC Player of the Week, and Emily Fulton on Tuesday night versus Colgate, leading the charge in a come-from-behind overtime victory. What do those 2 veterans bring to the makeup and the identity of the roster?
They bring so much. I mean, Fulton is just one of the greatest snipers in the conference. And with the chemistry she has between Jenner and Saulnier on that top line, they are the most productive line in the country. So with the experience that they've had with Brianne Jenner's Olympic experience, with Jillian Saulnier's and Emily Fulton's extensive experience as well with Team Canada, they've been through the pressure situations, and really their confidence and their capability in this game is kind of has a trickle-down effect on the rest of the roster.
The Cornell Big Red going for their 5th Ivy League and ECAC regular season championship titles in the last 6 years. Kevin Mooney following all the action for the Cornell women's hockey team on the Ivy League Digital Network. Appreciate the time, Kevin.
You're welcome.
And that'll do it for this week's edition of Around the Ancient Eight. For all the latest news and content surrounding the conference, be sure to head to ivyleaguesports.com or ivyleaguedigitalnetwork.com.
This has been Around the Ancient Eight, highlighting headlines from the Ivy League. Check out new episodes premiering Thursdays on the Ivy League Digital Network.